not, as far as I can tell from what I've read, not always the most admirable person, but as a filmmaker, he was extraordinary.
Let's hear a little clip from Vertigo.
I loved you so badly. I was safe when you found me. There was nothing that you could prove. When I saw you again, I could run away. I loved you so. I walked into danger, let you change me because I loved you and I wanted you. Scotty. Oh, Scotty, please. You love me now. Keep me safe. Please.
It's too late. It's too late. There's no bringing her back.
Please.
I heard voices. God have mercy.
Good gosh, these are powerful scenes, made even more so, Kenneth, by the music.
You read my mind. That Bernard Herrmann score is just astonishing. Symphony orchestras regularly play it. It's as good music as ever been written for movies. I really believe that. And it just, wow, does it add a lot.
It sure does. And the only two films you chose from the 70s, two of my favorites. I mean, Chinatown, I shall never forget.
No, I can still remember because it's got that twisty plot. I can still remember as the plot unfolds and you find out what's happening.
And we shouldn't tell anybody.
No, I'm not going to tell anybody. My lips are sealed, But it really packs a wallop. And, even seeing the film again, knowing what happens, it continues to pack a wallop.
You bet. Why do you think The Godfather has been so enduring?
Oh, God, people just love The Godfather, including me. Well, that's a good question. I think there's a fascination with the mafia, but it's also a very rich story, and it's told from the inside. It's great acting. It's great melodrama. It just has everything we're looking for in a film.
All right, let's hear one short clip from The Godfather.
Turn left.
You spend time with your family?
Sure I do.
Good. Because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a free man.
Miles, then turn left.
You look terrible. I want you to eat. I want you to rest well, and a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
Certainly, if they start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Kenneth, I always wondered what Marlon Brando had in his mouth to be able to talk that way.
I don't know, people say there was cotton in his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know what was in there.
Yeah,
But, it's just the marvelous from the opening, frames of the film where you see him, Undertaker is talking to him and saying, I believe in America, it's just a man, he's playing with a cat that's kind of wandering on his desk, and it's just such a casually masterful performance. It's really an actor at the top of his form, even though, Brando classically wasn't sure he wanted to be an actor, wasn't happy being an actor, didn't know if it was a good profession. He was spectacular at it, and sometimes without even seeming to try very hard.
And you're listening to the Diane Rehm Show. I'm going to open the phones because there are lots of people who'd like to speak with you. Let's go first to John in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're on the air.
Well, hello, and thank you for taking my call.
Certainly.
And I love your program. I miss you when you're out.
Thank you.
Glad to hear you today. I wanted to talk about the power of restraint to ignite the imagination. You were talking about splatter porn and those things, and the best illustration I found of that was years ago in the movie The Piano when Harvey Keitel is under the table and he's got his finger in the on the hole in her stocking, and how erotic and uncomfortable that whole scene is. It pales in comparison to when they actually have their clothes off later in the movie. And I really believe there's so much more. Censorship may drive us into being more creative, but there's also the thing about restraint that just I think is essential to igniting imagination. And
boy, it's really remarkable that you can remember that one scene so vividly. What do you think, Kenneth?
Oh, sure. I mean, restraint is a wonderful thing, and some of my favorite films are the most restrained ones. You know, I just wish that was more of a modern taste. It doesn't seem to be that much of a modern taste, especially in Hollywood. But you know, as critics, we don't make the films; we just have to look at them. But I'm always wishing there was more restraint.
But certainly there was very little restraint in Clint Eastwood's film Unforgiven.
Well, I don't know. I mean, in a way, there is restraint. You know, there's a lot of violence in there, but you can really feel... I feel restraint in that film, actually, believe it or not. I mean, though, that maybe not in the ending, but the ending, on the other hand, is very quick and very brief and very violent. I mean, I just feel, you know, this is a man dragged back much against his will into a way of life that he had thought was over for him.
I thought it was interesting that Francis Ford Coppola had owned that script, but then gave it up and Clint Eastwood bought it.
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes there's a kismet factor in films. You know, things were just meant to be. It's impossible to think of Unforgiven without Clint Eastwood in it. And he, as you say, he didn't own the project for a while. It came very close to not being his film or not being made at all. But it happened. And, you know, I just think it's a spectacular Western.
And he didn't want to play it until he could, as he said, age into the part.
Exactly. Now, he is, Clint Eastwood, you know, not alone among actors, but he certainly stands out among actors. He's very shrewd about